Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football for what will be an absolutely incredible night. It's Manchester United. No, it's not Manchester United. I've completely messed that one up. It's not Manchester United. It's actually going to be Newcastle's trip to Manchester City. Sorry for that one. We should hit 1 million subscribers tonight as well, which is massive for the channel. I've got to take my Manchester United head off here and focus in on what we've got, which is Manchester City against Newcastle. I'd love to see Newcastle come here and get a result. I don't think they will. I think this is going to be Man City's league season. Could even have it wrapped up by Christmas. But look, if anybody is going to go and do something against Manchester City, then I hope it's going to be a team like Newcastle, the pretenders to the throne, I suppose, in the short term. So, yeah, make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and get involved. Somebody says we've already hit 1 million, which would be incredible because we've not even started this game yet. Let me have a quick look. Smile on my face. It would be nice after that shit show from United. Mine's saying we are 10 away from 1 million, so we're not quite there yet. I'll keep updating it, but a bottom right hand corner to subscribe with That's Football. We're about to start here as well. Let me get this timer done as well. I can't remember how I did this before. Let me just get the timer ready first. So Man City against Newcastle. You can see the team news going round the screen for you there. We'll delve into that. I've literally just come from the United game against Spurs, which was a right shit show. But hopefully this will be a good game where we can just sit and enjoy it. There we go. That's the start of the game. Now what I do need to do is just get the colour changed a little bit. That's not how I did it. Hold on a minute. Am I on the right one? Yeah. Colour collection. That's what did I do with that? 9.12 and 108. 0.12 and 108. 0.12. 108. Harder than 8. That'll do. That's better. There we go. That'll do. Eddie Howe, Newcastle head coach. There we go. Right, get me one of these on the go. It's cold. That'll do me. I needed that. I did need that. Thank you very much. We've got a Newcastle player down injured here at the moment. And he might be coming off. Is it Shaw? Shaw might be coming off. Hey, mate, look, I think we've hit 1 million subscribers. The game has just kicked off. Got to go through the team news as well. So Manchester City are lining up with Edison, Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Vardiel, Rodri, Kovacic, Foden, Alvarez, Grealish and Haaland. Obviously no De Bruyne. And Pope, Trippier, Shaw, Botman, Byrne, Tonali, Bruno and Joel Linton. And then Almiron, Isaac and Gordon. Good balance for Newcastle, but I would still say that Arsenal, that Man City will be firm favourites in this game. Newcastle going here and getting any type of result would be absolutely massive. But let's wait and see. It hasn't changed on my system yet, so I'm a little bit opposed to sort of celebrate. 1 million. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. I reckon my system's got it. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. I've got 1,142. Unbelievable moment on That's Football. I absolutely cannot believe it. For me, United Stand was fantastic, hitting 1 million subscribers. But to hit 1 million subscribers on this channel is absolutely incredible. I can only say thank you to all of you. It's unbelievable that a channel that basically was set up as a, these are the other games I watch, I like football, let's have a chat about it, you know, everybody's welcome. For that to hit 1 million subscribers in the time it's hit it is unbelievable, and actually a bigger achievement than United Stand, because, you know, United Stand is the only 1 million subscriber Man United channel by a long way. You know, it kicks the ass out of everybody, but it's not, I don't find it difficult to sit and talk to United fans about United. Whereas That's Football was a bit of a jump into the unknown, talking about football and not knowing whether people would be receptive of that when you're talking about their clubs. And it's, you know, so it's been a bigger challenge, but it's been a quicker journey. So I'm absolutely stunned by it, over the moon. And, you know, thank you to everybody for what we're building here, and let's keep building. So thank you, everybody. Big up to you. We talk and others listen. Trust me, we do. Absolutely incredible. You know, there's ex-players with YouTube channels and massive budgets and massive PR companies behind them, and they've not hit 1 million yet. So to do that ahead of them, that will always be an achievement. And, you know, just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well done. Nathan and Jordan, welcome to the Members Club. Let's hope we can get a good game of football as well to enjoy this with. Hopefully a Newcastle win. Lots of lovely messages coming in. Thanks, everyone, for all the likes. Thanks for all the comments as well. And Ladios has been here since 9 subs. Yeah. I mean, look, I think, you know, some of the highlights of this channel, it's been through many things. It's always been watch-alongs, and, you know, we even used to do the FIFA career mode live streams throughout COVID. I remember doing a Champions League final with Man United right in the middle of COVID, the first COVID thing, when there was no football, and we had 24,000 people watching on a Tuesday afternoon. So it's been a weird but enjoyable journey. Newcastle on the attack here. Trippier, and there was an offside there. Yeah, Shub says you can't beat the FIFA career modes. Had a suit on as well, Alex. That's right. It's a weird thing, you know. I've always thought, oh, if this channel hits 1 million, it'll be so great. And then you do it, and it's like, whew, almost in shock. Unbelievable. So happy. Bit of a shame it's after United, but ultimately, United lose games of football. That's what happens. Good interception here. Oh, Tonali is a player I really like, but that was a loose pass. They're going to have to put their work in tonight, Newcastle, and I'm sure they will. I'm Ronnie Pickering, says Prejit. Arsenal watch-alongs on Monday night. I'm doing Chelsea tomorrow. Here's Haaland nearly slipping Foden in. Newcastle trying to play out from the back. Very dangerous because it just allows City to win it back. Just getting some messages from famous people. Thanks, Liam. Pushin, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Man City starting on the front foot, which is obviously what you would expect. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. I know it's a long day of football today. We didn't even get a 12:30 kickoff. I don't know what that was all about. Here's Kyle Walker. City just starting to probe here. Well, not starting. It's what they spend most of the season doing. But Newcastle pride themselves on a strong defence. It's going to have to be a strong defence tonight as they probe again. Grealish. Good block. I mean, I was on holiday this week, and they had the. I mean, obviously, I was in Mallorca in Spain. Sevilla played Man City, so there was a lot of pubs and clubs showing it, and of course that went to extra time. And will that have an impact on Man City today? It's Saturday evening, having played on Wednesday night. Could that have an up? I mean, it probably won't, but it could. Jack Grealish wanted a handball there. I tell you what, if that got given after United against Spurs, I would lose my shit. What are your predictions, everybody? Anyway, I don't think I've asked you that. It's been a quick changeover from the United game. But a steady first 10 minutes here. Obviously, we will get some injury time added on because Shaw was down for a little bit. Oh, it went straight to penalties, says Harrison. Yeah, sorry. Shows you how much I was watching that game then. I was a little bit drunk on the old Mahone, is it? McAllister getting a red is so bizarre to me. Don't know why that's been given, says Nero. Yeah, I need to watch that again a little bit later, actually. You know me. I would always... David, the timer's not off. You know this thing next to my finger that's like a timer? It actually is a timer. Rashford is the Manchester United of Arsenal's Walcott. Full of potential but never lives up to it, says Jason. For my own mental health, I will cut Man United out completely, including United stand. Man United news is so depressing. Games ownership is pushing. Okay. McAllister getting a red is bizarre, says Nooney. And Pushan, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. City are due a loss, says Annihilator. It's very hard to beat City at Newcastle at the Etihad, though, isn't it? I mean, I know it does happen occasionally. Palace used to be great at it. Brentford did it last year. Congratulations on 1 million, Mark. Well deserved. Top community and channel. I know. Well, oh, hold on. Here's Haaland. What a ball. He's gone a bit wide and he's messed it up. Very rarely happens that. I think Foden played the right pass onto the left foot and you think that's going to be 1-0. But it got caught under his feet, and then when he tried to control it, he put it out for a goal kick as well. I don't think Foden does anything wrong. The weight of the pass is good. Haaland just a little bit short there. Okay, timer should be right now. Are you going to do FIFA again, says Joshua? Yeah, I would do it for the new game, yeah. I wouldn't continue doing it at the moment. Henry says, are you on Fantasy Premier League? I am. I've not even checked my team, but we like to talk about that. Let me have a look. So, I'm currently on 17. But, oh no, I'm on 27. I'm on 27. I got 10 off Matoma. None off Pedro because he got booked. 10 off Estepanan. 10 off Matoma. And then 2 off Onana and 2 off Rashford and 1 off Bruno. Fucking rubbish. I've got Haaland captain. I've got Jackson and Chilwell tomorrow. And I've got Saka and Saliba on Monday. So, Yeah. Brighton are carrying me at the moment, Squid, 100%. 100%. I mean, it's a steady start. I'm not panicking, but it's not, it's not great. Man City doing all the work at the moment. Newcastle not really causing any problems. Foden got a shot off. No, it was Foden with another pass, and it was a shot by Akanji. Come on, Newcastle, says Alex. It'll be interesting to see how much added time there is in this game. I know it's a bit early to say that, but Newcastle are meant to be the issue, aren't they? In relation to why added time's been added on. I mean, really, Newcastle aren't going to come here and play expansive football anyway. It's going to be counter-attacking football, of course. I mean, I expect Man City, if it's actually working, to be very dominant. Yeah, 75% already, as you can see. Very dominant in the possession stakes. Yeah, we've hit 1 million subscribers. Absolutely fantastic. I'm almost in shock. Unbelievable stuff. Over the moon with it. Thank you, everyone. You better not kill the mood. Come on, Newcastle. I know it's difficult, but they've got to try and have an outball here. I said it to you before, says Daniel Shabar on a super chat. Ten Hag tactical flexibility is not good enough for United. De Zerbi and Howe got their tactics across quickly. United will remain inconsistent. And I think that's a fair point tonight. I mean, it's a fair point tonight. There has to be question marks over United's tactical mentality and substitutions today. Khalid says, apparently Erik ten Hag said the midfield played well. It was good. Hi, Mark. How long do you think until Newcastle go for a top-tier manager, or do you think Eddie Howe will be able to lead them to where they need to go? Says Ibrahim. I think it'd be lovely if Eddie Howe can take Newcastle to where they need to go. But I've always said that the likes of Dan Burn, Callum Wilson, Longstaff, Willock, Eddie Howe will get phased out over the next 2 or 3 years, because when you want to go and compete with Pep, then you've got to have a manager and players that can compete with Pep. And ultimately, Callum Wilson, Longstaff, Willock, Eddie Howe, they're not going to be employed by Man City, are they? Good cross by Gordon there. But look, I'd love it to work out for Eddie Howe. And I think at the moment, he's just got to keep progressing. And they are still progressing. So the journey, will continue. Have you seen Ten Hag has said his midfield played well today? He's turning into Ollie, says Ross. I've said this, Ten Hag is coming out with comments that are just a little bit weird this season. Score predictions at the Emirates, says Zane. Well, I think you'll beat us, mate, at the moment. Are you doing the Women's World Cup final at 11 a.m? Congratulations. We are doing a watch-along tomorrow for the Women's World Cup final. Yes, Nathan, you can tune in tomorrow morning for that on That's Football. I'll be doing also Chelsea-West Ham tomorrow afternoon. We've seen 2 full games where United have been dominated in the midfield, so... I need to watch this McAllister. Has anyone got is there a tweet about this McAllister foul? I didn't see it because obviously it was a 3 o'clock game and I was actually busy in the garden doing some boring gardening work with score updates on. So, Mark, about 2 years ago, you said you'd quit the United stand if That's Football reached 1 million subs. How are you feeling this now? Is that a reality? Says Viscount. Did I? That shows you how I never thought That's Football had hit 1 million subs. How come you didn't complete the Red Dead Redemption 2 series on Twitch? I can only speak for myself, but I very much enjoyed it. I loved it, Jake. Basically, I moved my PS5 from one room to another, and when I turned it on, it had wiped all my data on Red Dead. And there ain't no way I'm going to try and catch up doing it all again, because I'd already had that happen to me once before. I'm just going to have a look and see if I can find it. I'm sure it'll be on X. Twitter. I know where it will be actually if I can't find it there. Doesn't look like a red to me. No, doesn't look like a red to me. However, I've got to say this, and you can clip this up. Did Liverpool fans have any concept of fairness and consistency when Casemiro got a red card last season? Casemiro won the ball, and the ball and the momentum took his foot over the top of the ball, causing his studs to hit the player. It wasn't. It was a fair tackle. And everyone was going, no, it was a red. Liverpool fans were doing it. It definitely was a red. So I don't have sympathy for Liverpool fans who don't want... I mean, this is the great thing about this channel. It's probably why it does quite well. Is we watch football in a pragmatic way and we want consistency. I don't think that's a red card by McAllister. No, I don't. But I had Liverpool fans telling me Casemiro's was a red last year. Casemiro actually won the ball. So... you know, that McAllister one's more of a red than Casemiro's, and no one was. I didn't see Liverpool fans saying, "Well, that wasn't a red for Casemiro." I'm a United fan. That's not a red for McAllister. No, it's not. But that, you know. So Klopp can say all he likes. That won't get overturned. Dominic Szoboszlai for Liverpool looks a decent signing, says VI Jokers. That was a good win for Liverpool, but obviously they play Newcastle next without McAllister. So that's why Klopp will be concerned, because he knows that that's going to be a massive game without those players, that player. Obviously, we'll be doing that as a watch along next Sunday. Newcastle Liverpool at St James's Park next Sunday at 4:30. What a game that will be. There's a bloody international break coming soon as well, isn't there? Are you going to do Everton Villa, Mark? No, I'll do West Ham Chelsea tomorrow. There's a Man City player gone down here. They're probably... I mean... It's accidental by Gordon there. I don't think he'll get booked for it. He has had a yellow card for it. I mean, to be honest, I don't think everything has to be a card just because some wrong. I mean, that's what did for McAllister. The Bournemouth player just was screaming and shouting like he'd had his leg amputated. Referees react to that. I mean, he's literally done that. He's caught him by accident. I don't think he needs to get a yellow card for that. And Aaron says it's deliberate. Well, if it's deliberate, it's a red. You can't stud someone down their calf after the ball's gone deliberately and get a yellow card. It's a red card. I don't think it was deliberate, and therefore I don't think it's a yellow. But, the referee sees the player lying around going, when it's like, I've got to get my card out. But 25 minutes gone, Newcastle have defended well. There's only really been one chance, I would say, that Man City could have done better, and that was that Foden pass into Haaland. Yeah, there was a red card in every 3 o'clock game, Spencer. Richter says Tonali's going to be an instant hit. Well, I really like Tonali. Games are won and lost in the midfield as well, and I think Bruno Guimaraes is such a good player. And if you add Tonali in there as well, you're just improving the most important area of the pitch, aren't you? Jack says Ricky's losing it on the fan forum. He wants Eric Ten Hag out, and he's blaming him for the signings and giving the captaincy to Bruno, says Jack. I will be watching it later. But I couldn't miss doing this watch along. Too big a game. Newcastle are defending well, says Philip. And Haaland's in again. Nothing going on. Come on, Newcastle. They just can't get out at the moment. They can't get out. I've got Haaland as my captain in Fantasy Premier League, so if he scores, he scores. We've hit 1 million subscribers, says Liam. Yeah, we're fully aware of that. It's absolutely incredible. Top right-hand corner. Make sure you smash a like. And make sure you subscribe if you're new, by the way. Join the movement. That's football. Everybody's welcome. It's so amazing what we've done on this community. Absolutely brilliant. And podcast is out on Tuesday. Every Tuesday. Goldbridge Saves Football. You can listen to the first two episodes at the moment. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to this one because there's a few talking points from the weekend as we try to solve football and all the big issues. I say Goldbridge Saves Football. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek. I mean, because there's a lot of interaction and it's about improving football and opinions on football. We were talking about underrated players this week. I think Mo Salah's the most underrated player in the Premier League. In the sense that I don't think he gets the credit he deserves for the talent he is. Here they are, Alvarez. The cross is good, but Haaland attacks the back post and not the penalty spot. The GOAT Saves Football has only got 8 points this week. Well, you're not saving your Fantasy Premier League team, are you? Jamie thinks Newcastle are playing this tactically well at the moment. They are until City score. Maguire is better than Martinez, says Ajit. Yeah, you're thick. Estepinan was my Premier League captain, and he triple captained his Premier League studio. I mean, he's becoming the defensive Haaland, isn't he now? Everyone's getting hold of him. Vicario played well for Spurs today. Made some good saves. Definite improvement on Lloris. Martinez and Shaw just aren't match fit at the moment. They're good players, but they are a prime example of what can happen when you're not fit. Man City are getting closer here. Edge of the box. Kovacic, good block. Newcastle resolute at the moment, but they've got to have an out ball. Bodies in the way again from Newcastle. Man City are just camped on the edge of the box here. West Ham just bought Mavropanos from Stuttgart. Maguire deal officially off. West Ham got a better player and saved 10 million, says Leon. Well, we knew that was going to happen. I'm not on the Madri tonight, Dean. I wish I was. Again, it's a bad pass. See, Newcastle need to switch on here. Every out ball is a misplaced pass. That was from Bruno Guimaraes. Fan forum's on fire today, says Manu. Good. That's 1-0. Somebody literally just said in the chat, Alvarez to score. And he has literally just scored. Pope gets a hand to it. It's a good finish. It's quality from Man City. I don't think it's a surprise from Man City. It's taken them half an hour. I did say at the start of the game that I think Man City could win this title by Christmas. They played midweek. They're already 1-0 up against Newcastle, who were fantastic against Villa last week. But they've been absolutely dominated here. Radio Radical says, congratulations on 1 million subscribers. Thank you, pal. But it's so simple for City. Kovacic plays it into Foden. Little touch back to Alvarez. Lovely finish. I mean, he's got a lot to do. It's like Haaland last week. The finishing of Man City is so clinical. I wouldn't say it's half a chance, but a keeper shouldn't get beat from there. Keeper wouldn't expect to get beat from there, but the power and the precision beats Pope. It's just a cold finish. It might be boring. It is boring, but it's effective and nobody can live with it. And Newcastle, to be honest, have paid the price, not from bad defending, from the inability to relieve the pressure. I don't think they've been forward for about 10 minutes. Like, they just can't get out of their own half. Mainly because City are pressing so well, but also because their passing has been so bad. Our players should learn from Alvarez's finish, says Faris. Congratulations on 1 million subs, Mark. Well deserved. Are you doing a watch along for the England game tomorrow, says Joel? We are live tomorrow morning for the England World Cup women's football game, yes. Parker says, what colour is your Bugatti? I wish I had a Bugatti or a Bugatti. M. Parker. Game's not over yet. It will be at 2-0. Newcastle have got to figure out a way to get up the pitch. I personally don't think Newcastle need to play like they're bloody Stoke against Man City. I don't think they do need to play so weak defensively. Oh, this ref's terrible. He's just booked Tonali for what? A shoulder barge. Oh my God. Oh, and the refereeing gets worse. Tonali's just been booked for a shoulder barge. I despair. I absolutely despair. It's just... So, we're booking players for nothing and we're adding time on. I mean, it's a recipe for disaster, isn't it? The games are longer and we're booking players for less. I mean, it's inevitable what's going to happen. We're going to get more games with more red cards, and everybody knows games are not good when a team gets a player sent off. So we're actually damaging the game. We're making it longer and we're booking people more. So we're going to get more games with where it's 10 against 11, which will make the quality of football go down. Just don't get it. The podcast's going to be great this week. How to Make Spurs Look Good by Man United, says Alex Golding. Thank you. Kane says, well done on 1 million subscribers, Mark. Thank you very much. Was he not stopping a counter-attack? No. If he pulls his shirt or trips him up, it's a yellow card. It's a 50-50 shoulder barge where Foden cleverly wins a free kick by leaning into him and falling over. That's just not a foul. It's not even a foul for me. Is Newcastle on the attack? Almiron holds on for it for too long. And City's press pushes them away. Dorian. City shows we are far off. Decision making, no midfield units, Ten Hag to really implement structure and players to show class, says Dorian. I think if Man United played Man City at the moment, I'm not joking, it could be anything between 5 and 10-0. Like, absolutely, easily. It would take something that United just aren't at the moment to not get hammered. Nice ball out wide. Here's Almiron. Now move it a bit quicker this time, mate. Nah, he's trying to shoot. He thinks he's Ollie Mers. Hold on. That's not a handball. No way. I mean, if that had, in fairness to City, if they'd have given a handball for that, I'd have absolutely laughed my head off. Because they can't. You can't give a handball for that on Kovacic. It's nowhere near as obvious as what Romero did against United. How many titles does City need so the Premier League can be considered a farmers' league, says Abraham? I think this could be the year where it transitions, to be fair. Because I think they're going to win it very easily this year. Here's Grealish. But I've already said this. You can't moan about how easy it is for Man City when... you can't moan about how easy it is for Man City when everybody predicted that they would win it easily anyway. So, that's my stance. Rohit says, United should have been in for Tonali. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'd have took Tonali over bloody Mount. At least it would make sense in the balance of the midfield. Pep is so irritating, says Alex. He's not even in his technical area. Pep's not in his technical area. Should be booked. Haaland will leave Man City in two years, I think. Not this summer, the summer after. Not this summer now, not next summer, the summer after. Is my opinion. Newcastle are attacking a little bit more now. They're going to move it quicker. There's a ball out wide here and it's got to go there quicker. Tonali and Gomes. It's an interesting ball to Trippier. Almiron likes to take an extra touch. Gives it into Bruno Gomes. Newcastle playing more on the front foot now. Hopefully that will open up the game a little bit. Oh, that's got to be a foul, ref. Can't just. He's got to give a. Is he giving a corner or is he giving a goal kick? How's that not a foul? It's almost like referees go, well, I'm not going to give that. I won't give a foul for that. Well, it's been a quick half. I'll give it that. Here's Foden. This could be it. Haaland. Oh, you know what? I thought he'd scored. He didn't hit it with power. I thought he'd hit it with precision. It was just wide. It would have been another assist for Foden. On this basis, you'd be mad not to have Phil Foden in your fancy Premier League team. How close was it from Haaland? I think Pope's probably got it covered. No, I don't think he did. He definitely didn't. He definitely didn't. You can tell by the look in his eyes. Alex says, congratulations on 1 million subs, Mark. Wishing the best for the future for you in the channel. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate your support. Ugh. I'm looking forward to watching Chelsea next week, tomorrow, Kieran. I'm looking forward to Arsenal at Palace on Monday as well. I think there'll be interesting games. I mean, obviously Arsenal will want to keep up that. I mean, they're going to have to go some to replicate 43 points from their first 48 last year. But they'll want to, get off to that relentless winning start. And as for Chelsea, no Champions League football. Pep's face looks wider. It's probably because of his beard. Even Aston Villa had a better transfer window than Man United. We looked tired and out of the game after the first goal. Midfield was abysmal, says SD. Thank you very much for your super chat, pal. And Rodri. Rasmus will be fit next week. Yes, Mitt. Good pass out by Ederson. Second ball, City. They win them all. Look at Walker here. Pace through the middle. Out wide to Grealish. He's up against Trippier on his own. He'll commit him. And he wins a corner. Roy Keane says United the new Spurs. Well, I don't know whether Roy Keane has said that. But I actually... I might be wrong here. But I almost get the feeling that Roy Keane and Gary Neville and certain ex-players, it's almost like deep down they revel in United doing bad. They've almost got that I told you so attitude. And look, how can Man United be the new Spurs? Spurs don't win anything. How can Man United be the new Spurs? We literally won a trophy last season. And we finished third. How can we be the new Spurs? But I genuinely think some of the ex-players enjoy us losing because then they can just be, well, when I was there, that didn't happen. I hate United losing. I'll tell you why I think we do lose, and I think there's lots of reasons for it, but I don't enjoy it. It's almost like they want us to fail. They were only genuinely happy when Ollie was in charge because he was their mate. I don't think they like... Well, they don't like foreign players, do they? They don't like foreign players, so they probably don't like foreign managers. They didn't like Mourinho. They probably couldn't say they didn't like Ten Hag because he did well last year. Honest opinion on Jack Grealish, says Slow Sports News. I liked him at Villa. And then he joined a club I don't like, so I don't like him. But no, I mean, he's a good footballer, but he just plays for City. And I think there's just something very grey about playing for City. I think at Villa he was exciting because, you know, he was a big fish in a small pond. And I think it's impressive when you're doing that for a club like Villa. But when you're doing it at Man City, obviously it's easier, isn't it? He's playing in an excellent team. He's a good player, but yeah, I preferred him at Villa. Roy Keane is your best ever captain. He knows what he's talking about, like lost children on the pitch. Oh, I've played the game FC. Paul Gascoigne's the best player I've ever seen. I wouldn't trust him to talk about football. There's no correlation between playing the game and talking sense. Just look at what people like Gabby Agbonlahor talk about and that crew. Just because you played the game doesn't mean you know what you're on about. I'm worried this could be a hangover season for us like Liverpool last season because of how many games. Good point, Shahan. Never even thought of that. Liverpool have had a couple of years like that. You're right. Roy Keane thought the tackle on Luke Shaw that nearly ended his career was a fair tackle. It was one of the most horrific tackles I've ever seen. Yeet says Mark hates foreigners. You don't watch the channel very often, do you, mate? The guy who nearly broke Luke Shaw's leg, not only did he not get a yellow card, he was put in Europa League Team of the Week. Well, we're nearly at half-time here. In fact, we're about to hit half-time. He's going to blow his whistle now. The half has flown by. Give us your thoughts. Referee blows up for half-time. Of course, I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not English, but he spent most of his career playing for Manchester United and is a big friend of Roy Keane and Gary Neville. That's what I meant. He may as well be English in the sense of being a footballer. He's not a foreigner coming in from outside that they don't know. He's one of their mates. The tackle on Shaw was a fair tackle, brilliant from Hector Marino. What a defender, was loved at PSG. Jonas, it was criminal. He should have been locked up. He nearly snapped his leg off. How can a tackle that snaps somebody's leg ever be a good tackle? It was assault, pure and simple. At half time, anyway, let me stop the clock. We haven't stopped the clock on Newcastle yet. I still think that they can get back into it, but I'm not a massive fan of how they've approached this game, if I'm being honest. I get it. We see it all the time with Newcastle. Not with Newcastle. Well, sometimes we see it with Newcastle, but we do see it all the time whereby clubs they play. They'll play. Teams will play Man City at the Etihad, and they do this whole sit back and counter, and I don't know that. I don't know that it's a good idea. I really don't. I think that you can't be too open, but I think Newcastle are one of the best teams in England, and they don't play like that when they're at home. And I know you've got to play different. Look, people will be screaming and saying you're talking out your arse. But Kai, you're gone, mate. You added nothing to the conversation. We've got 1 million subscribers. We don't need to give twats time of the day. You're not talking about anything, so you can go. Don't know what you think, but I thought Bruno was absolutely abysmal at the end of the game against Spurs, says Darry. Well, we're here to talk about a different game, mate, but I've done that on United Stand. I think Newcastle played better when they went 1-0 down because they've got to come out. And I think for the first half an hour, they were just blocking shots, playing on the edge of their own box, and it's an inevitability that City will score. I think there is a way to beat City, and I think managers are going to have to be more creative than let's go to the Etihad, park the bus, and try and counter-attack. I don't think it's going to work, and I think that's why Man City are so dominant, because that's all they're so used to teams doing that. I mean, you're literally giving them 80% possession and saying break us down, and they will break you down. They will do. I think that, I've read a lot of things about football and the evolution of football, whether it's, total football in the 70s, what happened in the 80s with Argentina and Germany, obviously the AC Milan side of Sacchi in the late 80s as well, into the 90s, the renaissance of Italian football for a little bit, Ajax with Van Gaal. Football goes through stages of styles that get adapted or come back into fashion, and I think we're crying out for somebody to come into the game that can. Like Pep Guardiola's not. I don't think Pep Guardiola's even the best manager out there at the moment. I think it's Ancelotti. I think what Ancelotti has achieved in his career is incredible, and as a player as well, I think he was better than Pep. So that's my personal stance, but. Pep Guardiola's not going to go down as, some unbeatable genius. We're just waiting for the... But I think there has to be a better way. At the moment, I just don't... City will keep winning the league and they'll keep winning trophies if teams keep playing like this. I know it's difficult. They've got a good side, but I don't think going to... playing against City. I saw fucking Arsenal do it last year at the Etihad. I just don't think it's a good idea. I think you've got to drill your team. Look, the reason Man City are so dominant is because Pep Guardiola spends so much time and so much detail and almost plans for every eventuality in every game. They're so detailed, they're so well drilled, and they're so much better than everybody else. You don't defeat that by saying, well, just let them have the ball and we'll park the bus. You defeat that by working as hard as them as well. And I think that's what teams need to do. I mean, it's easier said than done, But I do think that Newcastle have played better since they've gone 1-0 down. And maybe that's because City have dropped off a little bit. They've got the goal that they want. But it's also because Newcastle know they've got to go out there and score. So I'd like to see Newcastle do a little bit more of that, because I think Manchester City, they do have their vulnerabilities whilst also being the best in the world, of course. I'm just looking at Ancelotti's managerial career. So he's won 2 Champions Leagues with AC Milan. Premier League with Chelsea, of course. Serie A with AC Milan. PSG won the league there. Who hasn't? Real Madrid won the league and the Champions League twice. Bundesliga with Bayern Munich. So he's won 4 Champions Leagues. How many's Pep won? Pep's won it 3 times, has he? Either United players are leaving it on the training. I don't really want to talk about United massively, Chris. We've hit 1 million subscribers on That's Football, and That's Football's about everybody. It's not about United. United were shit. I've done my match reaction. They're not fit. They will get blasted off the park by Arsenal in a couple of weeks. They're very lucky that they've got Forest next week, because I don't think Forest at Old Trafford will be able to deal with it. Yeah, my summary of Man United is that they're not match fit. They're not match fit. They're not sharp enough, and I don't think that's excusable. I don't know why. McAllister's red card was ridiculous, as Ricky. I've seen it now, and look, I don't want Liverpool to win football games. I don't want Man City to win football games. I don't want Arsenal to win football games. I don't want any rival to win. I always want them to lose. But something that supersedes that for me is that you've got to get logical for the betterment of the game, because if you don't, it hurts you. Like, I am pretty sure there'll be a lot of people that don't like United who are saying that wasn't a handball today against Spurs. But when it happens to your team, you'll be absolutely outraged. It's a penalty for Man United today. And it makes a mockery of football fans who've got no fucking idea what a handball is now. I mean, somebody said it was because of the distance the ball travelled. I mean, that's just some pedantic opinion. Romero tries to block the shot and spreads his body, and it hits his hand. He's done what he achieved. He's done what he wanted to do. He's blocked the shot, but he's done it with his hand, so it's a handball. He intentionally makes his body big to block a shot, and it hits his hand, so it's a handball. McAllister intentionally goes to win the ball. The player moves the ball, and he catches the player. It's not even a yellow card for me. It's not reckless. It's not out of control. It's a genuine attempt to win the ball, and he's caught the player because the player's quicker than him. That's just speed. It's not intent. So the contradiction is ridiculous. It's the same as what happened with Casemiro last year. He wins the ball. The ball, because the other player hits the ball low and he hits the ball high, physics comes into play and causes Casemiro's foot to go over the top of the ball and hit the player. Red. So I just think it's... And I'm no Liverpool fan, and obviously it damages Liverpool, so that's a positive, but it's not a red card. But it has to stay a red card, because if they overturn that, they didn't overturn Casemiro's. So I just think we're unfortunately, it's another weekend like we had most last season. It's only the second weekend of the Premier League, and we've already had a catalogue of shit decisions. And I'm not going to sit here as a United fan and say, oh, it was definitely a red card for McAllister because it's a Liverpool player and I don't like Liverpool. Because I know next week it's going to happen to a United player. And if we don't all call this out, when will it change? And you've got Howard Webb, who's been brought in as this smiling guy who's loving adding 9 minutes on to every game. I mean, you haven't even fixed VAR. You haven't fixed the handball rule. You haven't fixed people getting sent off. if anything, you're a prat because you're actually adding problems. When somebody wants to clean out a stable because it's full of horse shit, they don't bring the horse in to shit more. You clear the stable out and then you put hay down and then you let the horse in. And that's what Howard Webb's doing. I'm going to clean this stable up by bringing a horse in to shit some more in there. It's ridiculous. I've seen it so often in business. A business is failing, so somebody comes out with new ideas that will fail instead of fixing the problems, because fixing the problems is boring. Let's work on a new idea. I used to work in a place where basically it was the way to get promoted. You came up with a project that got you promoted and then you moved on, but you never solved the problems that were there. I've got this great idea, this great project that we can do. Yeah, it sounds great. He's an innovative person, or she's an innovative person. Let's give them a promotion. But they never fixed any of the problems that were there in the first place. I think Howard Webb's doing a shit job. I saw his interview with Gary and Jamie. I'm calling them Gary and Jamie like they like me. PR bullshit. I'd respect somebody coming into... I'd do the job tomorrow. I'm sure most of you would do the job tomorrow. And I would go in and say, look, this is the rules. You all start following them. I want consistency. The only thing... I don't want no fucking adding on 10 minutes. I don't want to redefine the offside rule. I don't want to start doing kick-ins from throw-ins. I don't want to revolutionise football. I want to fix it. And the one thing we're going to do is we're going to put it up on all the offices, and every email is going to say it. The tagline, consistency is key. That's going to be the mantra of refereeing in this country. Consistency is key. That's all I want, because that's how we'll win respect. If it's a handball in that game, it's a handball in that game, and it's a handball next week. If it's a red card in that game, it's a red card next week. I'm not having inconsistency, and this is what we've got. And it's driving us mad, isn't it? It's driving us mad. The lack of consistency. That Romero handball today, that will be last week, Lewis Dunk got a handball given against him for less than that. Next week, the same thing will happen. Inconsistency. McAllister, there'll have been 10 tackles like his today. None of them will have had a red card. It's the inconsistency, and it shouldn't happen. It can happen with a referee that's refereeing the game on their own, but it shouldn't be happening with a VAR monitor. Let's support the England women. We will be doing a watch-along for that tomorrow. I will be talking about it on the podcast, by the way, Goldbridge Saves Football. Not the women's final. Well, I might do, but I'll be talking about that in more depth. The referees are dictators. They're just an unaccountable organisation with no one to answer to. They are their own bosses who protect each other. Dermot Gallagher will come on Monday on Sky and he'll go, yeah, at the end of the day, I've looked at the two decisions and you know what? McAllister probably has tried to win the ball, but you know what? The referee's given a red card and he could have killed him, so it is a red card. As for the handball by Romero, idiots in my opinion, will say, well, Lewis Dunk had a handball given against him last week. Well, that was a handball. When you look at the Romero one with context, and obviously the referee hasn't told anyone at this, at the end of the day, Romero is going to block the shot from Garnacho, and then he's seen his mum in the crowd, and he's waved at her, and it's hit his hand. That's not intent. It's not his mum. I don't know whether his mum's still with us. I hope she is. But the mum, he thinks it's the mum. He's gone to wave at her. It's hit his hand. There's no intent. It's a natural hand shape to put your hand in the air and wave at a relative. It's manners. Are we going to start giving handballs for manners? It's not a penalty at the end of the day. And that's the sort of bullshit we'll get fed because they're not accountable. They're not accountable. And they're not. They're not accountable. Who is accountable to football fans? That's why I do the podcast. That's why it's called Goldbridge Saves Football. And keep an eye on the community tab because we always read out your thoughts as well. Unlucky for United today, says Lucas. We weren't unlucky. Should have had a handball, but we weren't unlucky. We were shite. Brighton have been brilliant. Brilliant start to the season by Brighton. 6 points from 2. It's a good start by them. And more interestingly for me, I was looking at Brighton's start to the season. Obviously, they're back at home next week. And I think that, I forget who they've got. I mean, the top of the league after 2 games, no one cares about that. It only really starts to matter after. But they're at home to West Ham next Saturday. And then they've got Newcastle at home the following Saturday, which, I mean, and then they play Man United straight after the international break. So Brighton have got a great chance to start the league really, really well. Well, they've already started it really, really well. Players are coming back out here. And let me just have a little bit of a stretch. I'll tell you what, it's been a long old... I've been doing it. Oh, God, my back's... Oh. Stiffer than something, I was going to say there. That's killing me, mate. That's killing me. Let me get this going. Ref's been crap here as well. Absolutely crap. The yellow card on Tonali was a disgrace. And I don't think it should have been a yellow for Gordon, but the Tonali one was an absolute joke. Come on. I don't know the name of this referee, but he's rubbish. What's the most views you've ever had on a live, says KR. On this channel, we had 120,000 live viewers on a England watch-along in the Euros once. True story. Yellow card for Alvarez. Didn't see it. Looked soft as well. Don't know the context of that. United has never fixed their ownership and board problems. There were changes in managers and players in the last few years, but no major success. Is op. Robert Jones is the referee. Richard would be more appropriate because he's a bit of a dick. I've spoken about McAllister's red. Taha, you're too late. Brighton would leather United, says Orb. They would. They would at the moment. There's not many teams that I fancy United to beat at the moment. Fortunately, we're playing one of them next week at Old Trafford. That's a good cross. And there's a player gone down in the box there. And there's an offside anyway. I don't think it was. Oh yeah, there was probably an offside there. I mean, that could have been a penalty on Isaac, you know, by Rodri, straight into his back. Would have been a bit soft. But they've given the offside, which may not have even been offside. But it won't matter because they've given it. City will set up for the breakaway with Haaland in this second half. And if they get the next goal, it will kill the game. Please do subscribe, by the way. We have hit 1 million subscribers, but you're very welcome to get involved. United are boring to watch, says Niall. Here's Gordon. He hit a shot. But I think he hit his own player, Joel Linton. Darry says, as much as I hate City, it's good to watch some decent football for a change. And I'm so happy that you've reached 1 million subscribers. Thank you very much, mates. And well done, everybody. It's been a community effort. And it's incredible. Thank you. Newcastle have got a really challenging start to the season, says Super Heavy. They have. They've got Liverpool next week. Obviously, they had the Villa, which they won opening day. They've got Newcastle at St James's Park next week, which I think will be very, very hard to call. And then they've got Brighton at Brighton. Newcastle pushing here. Gordon does well, but way over the bar. A United man says Liverpool defence wasn't good today. Well, of course, Liverpool have got a problem next week because they still haven't really resolved their midfield issues, I don't think, and they're going to lose a midfielder in McAllister. So, and that's Newcastle's strongest area. So, that game at St James's Park could be. Erling Haaland's still got a shot off there, straight at the keeper. Could really come down to the midfield. I'm afraid there won't be an end to this refereeing circus, Mark. It's getting worse and worse, says Faris. Lovely ball into Tonali there. Bad pass by him. Is Grealish. Kovacic has settled into that Man City seamlessly well. I think this is an interesting point, isn't it? Havertz at Arsenal from Chelsea looks like he's struggling. Mount from Chelsea looks like he's struggling at United. Kovacic from Chelsea to Man City is like he's been there for years. All of them had bad seasons at Chelsea, but Kovacic has just settled in seamlessly. Boring City. Newcastle plays way more attractive, says Darth. Bain. If you could take one player from each of these sides, who would you take? Not including Haaland, says Darry. I would take... Well, for United right now, it would have to be Tonali or Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle. And based on, Tonali's only just come to the league, I think I'd take Bruno Guimaraes. From Manchester City, again, I'd be looking in that midfield, I suppose. And if I can't take Haaland, I'm probably going to take Rodri. Just stick him next to Casemiro. Nothing's going to get through, is it? Wouldn't you take Kevin De Bruyne? I mean, I thought it meant from on the pitch. I mean, you might debate whether you take Kevin De Bruyne just because of his injury record. Let me just see what's happened to this free kick. I'm going to go and get another beer. It's not every day we hit 1 million subscribers, is it? I'm going to have another beer with you. Fridge stop. Yeah, right. I'm back in a minute. I'll be back less than that. I'm like Red Bull when it comes to getting a beer from the fridge. It's murder on the dance floor. You better not kill the move, DJ. I can take a cap off the top with my hands. I'm that strong. I've always been able to do it. Haters will say it's a screw top. It's not. Gordon's just done a tackle here. That could have been a second yellow. Easily could have been a second yellow. And Joel Linton is definitely going to get a yellow. I thought... congratulations on 1 million subs. You're awesome, says Darth Bain. Thank you. Joel Linton has had a yellow card. The hilarious thing about the consistency of the refereeing is that Gordon's tackle there is more of a yellow card than the one he got one for. So technically he should have been sent off. Look at this. That is worse than the one he got a yellow card for. The consistency is laughable. Absolutely laughable. Look, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Even he knows. He's walking around and he knows it himself. I got booked for nothing, and now I've just committed a booking and not been booked. Pep wanted Maguire, so he must be half decent, says Ravi. Yeah, that's how it works. Harvey Barnes needs to come on anyway, says Elliot. Name the quiz show from this clue. Question or nominate, says Kenneth. Oh, I know it as well. Question or nominate. It's Irish, whoever does it. Question or nominate. Or maybe that's just me doing it. Someone in the chat's going to get that. Question or nominate. I nominate Sarder. Big Brother. 15-1. It's 15-1, says White Dwarf. Harvey Barnes is coming on, but so's Sean Longstaff. Yeah, he's right to take Gordon off. He's a red card waiting to happen. Where do you think Newcastle will finish, says Ryan? I think a lot of people write Newcastle off. If they can get 7 points from their first 4 games, it'll be incredible. Because City away, Villa at home, Liverpool at home, and Brighton away. I think if anyone gets 7 points from that, the only people I think would get more than 7 points from those 4 games are Man City and maybe Arsenal. So I do think Newcastle home form. Look, I think that's a tough game for Liverpool next week. I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle win. Les is absolutely spot on. Gordon has just not been booked for a worse tackle than McAllister. Ref's shit. And the refereeing this weekend has been shit. And you should call it out. Just go on my Twitter, at Mark Goldbridge, and retweet them. Why did you stop doing F1 watch-alongs, says Gladly? Because I stopped watching F1. I can't do a watch-along if I don't watch it. I have not watched a full race this season. Boring. It was quite watchable about 18 months ago, and they've ruined it. So I don't watch it. The Red Bull car with Verstappen in it is just too good, isn't it? So I don't know why they can't create a system where cars are more equal. I didn't used to watch it when Hamilton won either. I like Hamilton, but I didn't used to watch it. How does it feel to have 2 channels with over 1 million? It's amazing, says Darry. It is amazing, you're right. There's going to be another yellow card here. Harvey Barnes has literally just come on and been booked. I don't like this refereeing. I mean, it is a yellow card, but I think we're going to see a red card in this game, aren't we? How many yellow cards have we got on the pitch? Joel Linton's come off and Gordon's come off. But a lot of people in the chat are saying that is a yellow card, but by definition he's ruined the game. He's contradicted his own game, because by not giving a yellow card to Gordon there, but then giving it to Barnes, you're completely contradicting your own guidelines. It's just. Congratulations on 1 million, Mark. You're a funny guy, says VI Jokers. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I tell you what, I don't like Saturday night 8 o'clock games. Never going to like them. I mean, I'm always going to watch a game like this. If Pep Guardiola was United manager, what could he win with United, says Connor? I don't think he would. I don't think United have got the players. Here's Haaland. Good tackle, and it goes for a goal kick. Well done, Shaw. Worst foul you ever did playing football? No, World of Wester. I never I did plenty of fouls, but I never would. If you've ever played the game, and I've played the game, and I'm not talking about the highest level, I'm talking about five-a-side, school football, pub football, decent amateur football. It doesn't matter about the level of football. You can really hurt someone if you want to. And I was never about that. And nobody should ever be about that. You can look at Roy Keane's on Haaland. That was just pure assault. Vinnie Jones was like it as well. Come on, Almiron. He's held on to it for too long. He's so bloody greedy. And then he plays a bad pass. I'd take Almiron off. He's like Anthony. He just holds on to the ball for too long. Mitrovic has gone to Saudi for 58 million euros. I mean, the only positive is Fulham get the money. But, that's a player that just wants to go and make more money for himself, doesn't he? I can't respect it. I might understand it, but I can't respect it. Haaland was always good for Man City. We love him, says Arkham. I think he's talking about Alfinger Haaland there, not Erling. No, I said Almiron's like Anthony, not Haaland. We are gonna do that's a great point. We will do a That's Football live show. We'll definitely do one now. We've hit 1 million. We'll take it on tour. Might combine it with the podcast or something like that. Definitely. Would love to do that. Doctor Strange, I've already seen Happy Valley. Says very good. Where did Sander go? God, that's a blast from the past. There's Reese. Uni. Are you going to do Liverpool versus Newcastle next week? Yes, so our next few watch-alongs. England women tomorrow in the World Cup final against Spain. Tomorrow morning at 11. Chelsea at West Ham at 4:30. And then Arsenal against Palace on Monday night. We've got no midweek games until September, have we? There's nothing really going on midweek. Antonio says, why don't you get ahead of the curve and just start saying Ten Hag out? He's clearly not good enough, says Antonio. Yeah, the trouble is I like Ten Hag. That's not a trouble, but I wouldn't do that. Saudi games midweek, says Bobby. Yeah, enjoy that, mate. I'd rather paint the fence. I don't watch exhibition football. Mark, UEFA and Premier League have different FFP rules. UEFA changed theirs this summer, so Chelsea can't do 9-year contract, but they don't play UEFA competition this season, says Christopher. So they're all right, aren't they? It's clever. You could almost say, this has got to be a goal. Foden, Haaland, just wide. Did he miss-hit it? I'll tell you what, Foden's been fantastic tonight. And where's Bernardo Silva? I mean, this is the thing about Chelsea. Yeah, he mishit it again. It's amazing how many times, and it's by design. It's amazing how many times Haaland shoots through the legs of the defender. When's the Champions League draw, says Daniel? I don't know. Someone in the chat will know. It's on the 31st, apparently, says Callum. 31st of September. Transfer deadline day. Oh no, that's the day after. So it's a Thursday, isn't it? Is that a Thursday? Here's Foden again. Here's Haaland on his left. On his right. Gets the shot off. Good save by Pope. Premier League costs £50 a month in Norway, says World of West Ham. City look like they're getting close to this second goal. Are you managing the YouTube All-Stars again, says Jack? Well, there's not been an announcement yet, so there's always hope. Type Z says, will you do a NASCAR watch along? I can pretty much confirm that I won't. Are you going to still back the United Champions League spot? Shouts is gaming. The thing about pre-season predictions is that if you make them, you shouldn't be changing them after a week. The whole fun of a pre-season prediction is that you look back on them in May and say, that was funny how I got that wrong. Oh, fuck off, Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, that's just the contrast between City and Newcastle, isn't it? He's in there and his shot's terrible. Callum Wilson comes on for Isaac. And Tonali comes off for Anderson. Pamela Anderson's making her debut for Newcastle. It's not Pamela Anderson. That would be hideous. Newcastle haven't got any squad depth. Well, this is a lot of people are writing Newcastle off because of that. Somebody was saying to me the other day that it's difficult for Newcastle because they have got the money, but they haven't got the revenue. So they can't do what Man City did, which is basically, allegedly, suspectfully cheat. So they can't inflate their revenue to allow them to spend more. So they've got the money to be successful, but it's going to be a bit of a slow burner for them. I mean, they will get there, but they just can't do it as quick. So a lot of people say about Newcastle, well, they've got all this money. Why don't they have an amazing bench? Because they could just buy, but they can't buy. Because obviously their revenues are not at the level that they need to be to do that. Which is why it's so important that they qualify for the Champions League again. But remember, the top 5 will probably get Champions League this year. Because the Champions League format is changing. And I don't like it. It's going to be a 2-league system from next year. I don't think that was a foul on Grealish either. I don't think it was even a foul. Gets the ball. It's not even a foul. Dan's never played football since he chipped a bone in his ankle. Mark, XQC is goalie in the Sidemen. He's one of my favourite streamers. With you, I would love to see it. Damn, says Thomas Turner. Is he any good? I mean, I like Cal, but I think he admitted it himself on his own Instagram that he wasn't very good that game. Newcastle Adidas deal will fix the revenue soon, says Pre. He's never played in his life and he's going in goal. It's amazing how the sidemen always end up putting a goalkeeper into the team that they're playing who is, you know, suspect. And then can you explain the new Champions League format? No. I think it's 2 leagues of 16 or something like that. You don't even play everybody in the league. Hold up! It's a 3v1, and he's messed it up. You absolute prick! Callum Wilson has just messed up a 3v1. You couldn't write it. You couldn't write it. What is he doing here? The football IQ of a doormat. What? He's got a 3v1 and he's just ran at the defender. He's a good finisher, but he ain't any good in the build-up. Look at Man City players. They don't half dive, do they? Hey, that's a red card. I'll tell you what, he's caught him. That's a red. That is a blatant red. He's got to go. Bruno's got to go. How the hell has he not gone? How the hell is that not a red? Oh my God. Game is broke. Howard, Webb. I'm stunned by that. That's a red. Look, look, I don't think either of them are red, but you can't. Look, I did this about Casemiro last year. Andre Mariner refereed a game. There were 3 worse tackles. He's then the VAR referee the next day and sends Casemiro off, having let 3 worse go when he was the ref. We're in the same day as the Premier League. Alexi McAllister's been sent off for a tackle that Bruno Guimaraes has just made, and one's a yellow and one's a red. You can't have that. You can't have that in the same league in the same day. You cannot have that inconsistency. We may as well burn VAR down. There is no point in it if you're not going to deliver consistency. It's terrible. It defies logic. Manny, I agree. I don't think Bruno Guimaraes should get a red. All I'm saying is, watch the Alexi McAllister red card and tell me the difference. They're exactly the same. They're exactly the same. So how can you have it in the same league on the same day? One's a red and one's a yellow. Now, an idiot will say, well, it's different referees with different opinions. They're not robots. But that's what VAR is meant to deliver. VAR is meant to go, that one for Alexi McAllister was a red today. You need to give a red so we provide consistency. That twat in the middle of the pitch in this game has got something in his ear. It's called an earpiece. People speak to him. Those people in Stockley Park should be saying to him, we've just looked at it. Alexi McAllister got a red for that. Our colleagues gave a red for that today. You're going to have to give a red. How hard is that? And I actually think that Bruno Guimaraes' one's worse than McAllister's. I wouldn't give a red for either, by the way. I wouldn't. I'd give a yellow. But I'm just saying, what another horrific Saturday for the Premier League referees. Absolutely horrific. I wouldn't. Can I just say, I wouldn't have given a red for either. We're debating the refereeing decisions here. I wonder if any fullback actually just does think one day I actually am going to crunch Grealish, because if he goes down like he gets fouled all the time, he gets free kicks for it anyway. One day I'm actually just going to crunch him. Congratulations on 1 million subscribers, says Robin Hood. Southgate is utterly negligent in how he treats Foden for England. It's a crime against football. Oh, Robin, don't get me started on Southgate. Maguire's going to get picked for the England squad when he won't have played a minute for Man United. Man United will have played 4 games by the time the international break comes round. Maguire will have been lucky to play 10 minutes. He'll still get picked for England. Would you crunch him if you were playing at right back? I'd have to bloody catch him first. Look, I've got no love for Liverpool, but I'd be fuming tonight. I went through it with Casemiro. I was fuming. And I got no love from Liverpool fans, so I'm actually being the better person here, because if I was a Liverpool fan tonight, I'd be bloody fuming. Porro on Bruno was just as bad. Nothing. Bruno Guimaraes tonight, yellow when it was worse. And you're losing a midfielder for 3 games. Don't think any should be a red, but McAllister's surely has to be overturned. Several tonight were worse than his. I mean, look, maybe it will get overturned. But if it does get overturned, I think it's massively unfair in relation to what happened to Casemiro last year, because that didn't get overturned and it wasn't as bad as McAllister's. Newcastle pushing here. Kieran, thanks for the super chat. Congratulations, mate. No Liverpool fan that loves you more than me. I'd pay good money to see you giving Dermot some home truths for 30 minutes, says Liam. Yeah, they won't do it. It's the status quo, isn't it? It's like Gary and Jamie. They won't do it either. Terrified. Look, they might overturn the McAllister decision. And I wouldn't be opposed to them doing that, but they didn't do it for Casemiro, is all I'm saying. Who impressed you from Tottenham today, says Jack? I spoke about him last week against Brentford. I spoke about him on the Football Fill-In with Ben Foster, and I thought he was brilliant today, Basuma. I always liked Conte, and I think he did a good job. But this is the problem when you buy a manager players he doesn't want. I never understood why they bought Basuma and Jed Spence and then never used them. So Basuma is literally like a new signing for Spurs, and he's a really good player. I said it last week after the Brentford game. People will laugh, but Basuma for me was better than Caicedo at Brighton. And Caicedo's brilliant. But his whole career just fell off a cliff because Conte didn't pick him. I think he's a really good player, Basuma. I'm pissed we didn't get Bellingham, says George. I'm a Liverpool fan and I'm still fuming, says Rachel Todd. I'll love it if Newcastle got a goal. Almiron, don't hit it. He did. He hit it quite well. There's going to be another goal in this. It's either going to be a Newcastle equaliser or a City winner. And this could be a City winner because the break is on. It's a 2v2. It's Foden who's been brilliant. He tries to play Haaland in. And the centre-backs of Newcastle. I mean, to be fair to Newcastle, they've defended brilliantly because the goal that went in was a brilliant, brilliant finish by Alvarez. And apart from that, they'd have a clean sheet. I'm pissed with it. I've done that from George. Have Man City got any hard games they might lose this season? Probably not. They've got Sheffield United next week. And then they've got Fulham. And then they've got West Ham. And then they've got Forest. And they've got Wolves. They play Arsenal on the 8th of October. And by the time they play them, I think they'll have won every single game. Congratulations on 1 million, says Sammy. I don't want to be reactionary, but I don't know how we are going to get top 4 with the squad we have. Sammy, United have gone buy some players now. They will. Probably Amrabat. But, we're nowhere near, is the bottom line. And thanks everyone who's been tuning in for a Saturday night million subscriber show. It's been enjoyable. I'd love to see Newcastle get a goal, but really I think Manchester City are just so well versed in, they've got a good defence. They've had a good defence. It wasn't always what Pep was all about, but they have got a very good defence. And they've been very good at... I think Erling Haaland's coming off. He's not... Oh, no, he's not. Well, we've built a great community here. And that's why we've hit 1 million subscribers. It's incredible what's happened. And you are incredible people. And it's an incredible community. I really do think, as cheesy as it may be, 1 million subscribers is not a small thing, and people are taking notice, and we are having an influence on the football scene, whether people like it or not. So it's great, and I think it's needed. This could be it for City. It's a 4v3. Remember Callum Wilson had a 3v1 and messed it up. And Newcastle have defended that well, to be fair. They've bought a left-back, haven't they, Newcastle? That reminds me as well. I think that Hall guy they've bought from Chelsea, I was really impressed with him at Chelsea, funnily enough. I know he was only a bit of a cameo breakthrough last season, but I was really impressed with him. And I think he's going to be... Well, look, Dan Burns, a legend at Newcastle, but he's not really... I don't think he's a left-back. So, I mean, that's good depth, is what I'm trying to say. I'm just going to drop it in the video description, and I'm going to pin it in the chat, because I'm very eager that, as a community, we are breaking barriers and making a difference. And the way you do that is by building things together. So we launched the podcast. People had been saying to me to do a podcast for ages. We've done 2 episodes now, which you can listen to on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes. But some of you might not be aware of it. So I'm just dropping it in the video description, and I've pinned it in the live chat. They come out every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and we will be talking this week a lot about officiating, which is a disgrace. In a pragmatic and fair way, as I said, the McAllister red card today is a joke, even though I don't like Liverpool. But we've hit 1 million subscribers today, which is great, and I can't, thank and be in awe of you any more than I've said. But if you could support the podcast, that would be legendary. If there's anything you can... if you could say, I want to help you out, Goldbridge, I want to help this community out, how can I do it? I would say, please listen to the podcast. And, all you need to do is click one of those links or search Goldbridge Saves Football podcast and download it for later and give it a listen. You don't even have to use your data up once you've downloaded it. You could listen to it in the bath. You could listen to it on your way to work. You could listen to it in work. You could listen to it tonight. But give it a download. Links in the video description, and it's pinned in the chat. You could do it now and it could be downloading whilst you're watching this. But please do support it and listen to it every week, because we're really enjoying doing it, having ignored the podcast world for so long. And we're basically learning with every show, but we're also, the community tab on YouTube is the thing we're using at the moment to, bring your comments in, like we were doing book titles that will never get written last week, and you came up with some good stuff, and we always read out some of your stuff in relation to things that bother you about football. Like last week we were talking about people leaving early, etc. Callum Wilson again, fucking hell. So yeah, please do give it a download whilst you're watching. Links in the video description, or it's in the live chat. Still got 5 minutes to go here. XC says, if you could have a team of the same player, what team would be the strongest? For example, 11 Haalands. No, I think if you could have a team of 11 Haalands, you would lose, because he can't defend. I don't think he's got great stamina. I think he's an explosive player. So I think if you wanted to have a team of 11 players, you'd probably go with 11 Rodris or 11, all-rounders, really, I suppose, is my thought. Ten Hag told Sky he thought the midfield played well in the second half. What's he been smoking? I'm concerned by his comments. Matt, his comments at the moment are odd. Definitely, yeah. Definitely. Uh, 5 minutes to go here. Almiron comes off. Disappointingly greedy. What do you think about Villa signing Pellegrini? I meant to mention that. I've been away on holiday last week for a few days. West Ham v Chelsea prediction, Mark. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I'd love West Ham to get a result, because obviously that helps United. But I think it's a big test for Chelsea. You'd expect them to go and win. Not Pellegrini. Always getting mixed up. Zaniola. Bloody Pellegrini. What am I talking about? What do you think about Man City signing Pellegrini, the ex-Man City coach? I mean, he was about 90 when he was at Man City. What are they thinking? Zaniola is what I meant. Me and the girlfriend are going to listen to it tonight after the deed, says Roblox. Listen to episode 1 before you listen to episode 2. Gives context. It's a good loan from Galatasaray. I think Villa-Everton tomorrow should be a straightforward win for Villa. They've got to react. A lot of their fans were unhappy with their Newcastle performance, felt they were sluggish. Newcastle's going to score, says Annihilator. I hope so. Trust me, Man City won't lose a game until October. And they might not lose a game. They'll win every game till October if they win this. Callum says, congratulations on 1 million subs. Will you and Simon Jordan ever have a chat? I would look forward to it. Callum, I've asked for it. It's never materialised. England podcasting coming. Southgate kills football, says Robin Hood. Look, I'll always go and have a chat with people. I went and did one with Russell Brand the other day. This should be 2. Oh, Foden. He's been great today, but the overlap to Kyle Walker was the pass. Is Simon Jordan scared of you, Mark, says the goat? Oh, I don't know about that. He just doesn't want to do it, does he? Do you think Palace keeping Olise is a good thing? Oh, 100% tops, yeah. Don't think Ten Hag will survive till the end of the season, Mark, says Bit. The thing that would worry me about United if I was Ten Hag is the ability of these players to just down tools and give up. I don't think Newcastle score. I think Man City have had this job done for about 20 minutes. You know, they've still got John Stones, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. Off the top of my head, that's 3 players out. I think Aki's out as well, isn't he? Someone's going to tell me Aki's been playing the whole game now. I'd tell you what, I give up if that's happened. How would I not have noticed him? No, he's not. He's on the bench. He's on the bench though. Mark, Russell Brand is a walking dictionary. Did you come away with any new words, says AJ? I mean, yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Use of vocabulary. City haven't made a sub for the second game running. Fitness levels ridiculous compared to United. I just don't know what's gone wrong with our fitness levels. It's not like Man City wouldn't have been travelling in pre-season. Enjoy writing says Rashford didn't need to be the number 9 today. Looked very frustrated when he came off. Phil Foden, player of the match. Can't argue with that. Kyle Walker. United should go into every game with the mindset that they're 1-0 down from the get-go. Overcome the poor mindset and get desperate for a goal, says Killen. Mate, we get beat 4-0 every week. United's biggest problem is when they're 1-0 down, they give up. If Ten Hag tells them they're 1-0 down at the start, they'll definitely lose. Who would you rather have win the league, Liverpool or City, says Nico. Well, it still would have to be City, wouldn't it? Because Liverpool, I think, equal our record, but both are very depressing. Are you still on Talk Sport, says Obi. Yes, it's just I can't do the Mark Goldbridge show between 7:30 and 9 when they've got exclusive commentary of the 8 o'clock game on a Saturday. So whenever there's an 8 o'clock show on a Saturday, I can't do it. Well, I just can't do it. They've got TV rights not TV rights, radio rights to the Premier League that they spend a lot of money on. Only 5 minutes added on. And yet there's been loads of stoppages. I mean, I'm all for less time being added on. Russell Brand is a stupid person's idea of a clever person, says I'm all in. Okay. Haaland blank in the FPL. Yeah, he was my captain as well. Random question, but what do you think about Morrissey and the Smiths, says Amel. I like some of their songs. Mark, do you think Alvarez is more complete than Haaland, says Mahmood. It's called freestyle refereeing, you know. You can add 10 minutes on if you want, but it's Saturday night. We all want to get down the pub. Just add 5 on. There's been loads of stoppages. There's been loads of yellow cards. There's been loads of fouls. There's been 5 subs from Newcastle, and he's added 5 minutes on. De Bruyne out. Do you see Man City still having enough depth? Who's going to beat them, AZ? I don't think De Bruyne being out will be a problem for Man City. I think they'll comfortably win this league. Yeah. Tanned Bridge. I had a lovely holiday. It was only it was a short break, but it was like 35 degrees in Mallorca. I was talking to some people in the airport and they'd been away for 10 days and 2 weeks. I was like, no. And they're like, what do you mean? Why are you shaking your head? We had a great time. I said, I can't go away for that long. Going for a pint tonight, Mark. Drown the sorrows. I've had mine, thank you. Enjoy writing. I'm going to go and watch a film now. What film? I might watch The Founder or Interstellar. That's not a film about liking Stella Lager. And there's the final whistle. And 5 minutes added on is an absolute joke, by the way. I don't think it would have made any difference, but it's a contradiction to add 5 minutes against Newcastle, which is one of the big reasons they started adding loads of time on. Prestige is a good film. 1-0 to City. Bit of a shit game, to be honest. But the big thing is 1-0 is not as good as 1.0 million subscribers. You're a bunch of legends. Thanks, everyone. We're back tomorrow morning with England against Spain women in the World Cup final. Tune in for that. Tomorrow afternoon, we've got Chelsea's trip to West Ham as a watch-along as well on this channel. And don't forget, we've got Crystal Palace Arsenal on Monday night as well. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Smash a like on the video and make sure you subscribe on the way. 1 million subscribers. There's a nice little compilation of the story of That's Football that we've put together as well, which I've retweeted on my timeline at Mark Goldbridge, which has like got loads of different moments from it. So really, really proud of the community. You're absolute legends. I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.